Good afternoon. It's Monday, January 6th, 2025. It's almost 1 p.m. Welcome to another edition of Legal Grounds Morning Cup, Afternoon Tea Edition. I'm your host, Benjamin Sanchez. I'm an attorney licensed in Texas. I cover all things consumer and real estate. In today's episode, we are going to discuss the issue of movers. It is something that clients come to me all the time about, and I want to tell you my recent story as a tip and something that you should think about whenever you deal with movers. So join me for another edition of Morning Cup. The reason why I'm discussing this today is because recently I used the services of a moving company here in Houston, and it didn't go quite as planned, and I want to use this as a cautionary tale for all of you. Now, what I was doing, I simply had a conference table and some chairs moved from one law firm to my law firm. I was prepared, my law firm, to receive the furniture. The other law firm had someone there to hand off the furniture, so I was not at the law firm when they picked it up. We had scheduled a time for them to arrive. We scheduled, the pricing and everything. And so on the day of, the movers did not show within the time frame that we thought. So I checked with the other party and knew that they were running late. And then we called the moving company, and they told us that they would be there in about 10 minutes or so. Ultimately, the moving company was there a half hour after we thought they would be there. And so the moving company then got got the table and the furniture, the chairs from the other law firm, moved it to my law firm. When they came over, they would not actually come up and deliver the furniture right away, because one of the things you should know about movers is that they can keep your furniture and your possessions and whatever they're moving as collateral for payment. So most moving companies will not drop off your possessions until you pay them. So the moving company comes up, they end up, I actually happened not to be there, I think because I was in court or something. And so they came up, they looked at the space, they went back down. I got a call from my assistant, and eventually I got them on the line. And so they were ready to accept payment over the phone. When they did that, I asked them, how much is this going to be? And so when they tell me the overall price that they're going to charge, I let them know, quite frankly, that was ridiculous based upon the amount of time that they had used, because I knew what the hourly rate was. And so calculating the hourly rate, something was off. And they said, well, we got the time, plus we have our fuel charge, plus we have travel time to and from our location to your location. So that adds another hour. So even though they start at a certain time and end at a certain time, they tack on another hour because they have a 30-minute travel time to and a 30-minute travel time from, right? Even though they're leaving, you're charged for the time that they have to go back to their business. And so fine, that was another hour. I still said I thought that was not accurate based upon the charge, but I paid, right? Because I wanted them to release the furniture. I wanted them to get done as soon as possible. So they did that. Later that day, I get the bill via email, and in the bill, I look at the thing. And this is what I want you to do as a consumer, okay? I look at the bill, and I look for the start time and the end time of what they were charging me for, right? And so they had a start time that was not accurate. And when I called them on it, I said, hey, I was on the phone with you. I disputed the time then. I was on the phone before when I knew they weren't there, and yet you're charging me for them being there when clearly they were not there. And eventually they put me up into upper management, and they looked at the GPS of the vehicle, of the truck, and realized they, quote, had made a mistake. It was simple error, and they were going to credit me back $103 of my bill based upon the time that they had arrived, because they had charged me incorrectly for the time. Now, so you can see that's quite a bit of time. I thought that they should give me more, but I was satisfied that they gave me their $103 back. Okay. The other thing that I had a point on with the management, and this happens all across the industry, every move. I just want you to be aware of this. I don't know that it's something we can actually change, but I want you to be aware of it, and maybe you can argue your particular move. But the at the rate that I was paying, I think it was $180 per hour for the move. Okay, and they took about 10 minutes or so. I want to say 10 minutes of time to deal with the payment. Remember, I told you they came. They did not start moving the stuff right away. It took about 10 minutes to deal with the payment. But when you look at the time, they're actually charging you from when they started until when they finally finish putting the furniture in, right? And so that means that the time that they are dealing with payment is time that they are charging you. And so I questioned this company. I said, okay, so that means that for every job that you do, you basically get $30 extra, because that 10 minutes, 180 divided by 6 is $30. So they get $30 extra every move, not for doing the work, but they're charging you to bill you and to collect payment. And what I argued with them was that, hey, that clock should stop while you're collecting payment, and then it should start again when you start moving the furniture. What you did is you got extra $30, for no reason. And they said that they've been in business and that that's the way they've always done it. And quite frankly, if you consider the number of moves, that's just extra $30 that they get for charging you. And so be aware of that. I mean, it may be something that you can argue with your moving company. I don't know that they'll actually change their system. But I do think it's something that you should be aware of. So check your bill when you move. Make sure that the start time and the end time are accurate, because if they're not, you can dispute it. And you put it in writing, right? Put it in an email or something so that you have written proof in case it doesn't get resolved. But let them know that you dispute it and that you want a refund of the amount of money that they should not have charged you. And then second, just be aware that the longer you drag out the payment process before they unload the furniture and possessions, the longer that you are being billed for that process that really doesn't do anything. Quite frankly, it is very difficult to bill in advance. But if there was some way where maybe they could do an e-pay or some sort of quick payment, but try to get the payment process done as quickly as possible. And in fact, had I been at my office, I would have asked them specifically, what time are you charging me for your start time? Because then I could have dealt with it then. Luckily, I did look at it at the end, and I was able to see it. So that is my tip for today. Be sure to check your bill and dispute it when using moving services, especially the start and stop time, and know that the longer you take to pay, the longer you're paying for nothing. I hope you are doing well. I wish everyone a good and safe week and warm weather. Thanks. Bye-bye.